Ahmed, for this very nice introduction. Chairman GST, eminent speakers, and distinguished audience from across many countries in the globe. Greetings from Melbourne, Australia. It is my great pleasure to speak to this very learned audience and gathering. The title of my speech is Self-Help, A New Dawn for Somalia. But before addressing the main topic, I would like to share my experiences of Somalia in July 2019. I was invited to give 2 keynote speeches in 2 different forums. And in spite of personal concern of personal safety and huge resistance from my family, I accepted the invitation. I stayed in Somalia for a total of 12 days. In these 12 days, I had the opportunity to interact with political, civic, and youth leaders. I also had the opportunity to visit the devastated city of Mogadishu and witness 2 very big blasts, one of which killed the mayor of Mogadishu in 2019. What impressed me most about Somalia is that in spite of the tragic events, Somalian people had a positive belief in the future of Somalia. People displayed exceptional resilience and tenacity in spite of tremendous adversity. It takes a lot of courage to be that person, that group of people. I was particularly impressed by the discussion with youth, which comprise 70% of Somalian population. My interest and empathy for Somalia is based on the fact that with such a high percentage of youth population, you are sitting on a gold mine of talents and human potential and passion, which when sparked can ignite into unlimited talents. Let us now talk about the current shortage of medical oxygen and the second wave of COVID infections, and how self-help can ignite into how self-help can be funded and managed. It is my view that when a country has adversity, it is the self-help which actually gives confidence to the country that there is a positive hope in the future. What I have been reading in last few days about the current situation in Somalia, and what I was impressed is a 21-year-old Somalian mechanical engineer by the name of Muhammad Adawi. He managed to develop through his ingenuity an automatic device which assists patient breathing by clearing the airway passage and can be monitored from a safe distance. Now, under the second wave of COVID-19, there are at least dozens of articles about the plight of Somalia and Somalian people. And many of them died because of lack of breathing apparatus, oxygen gas, medical oxygen gas, and other equipment. Now, this young man was obviously affected or empathetic for that need and decided on his own to develop an automated system to create the airway passage and make breathing easier for patients. And not only that, he also thought of the doctors, nurses, medical staff who are going to treat them, so that he made the device in such a way that it can be they can monitor it at a safe distance, and therefore would not get affected by the COVID virus. Now, the passion, this type of passion can easily be replicated in the 70% of your population, that is youths. This type of passion, all it requires a certain type of training and changing of mindset. All it requires a united Somalian society who can muster some funding which can be collected. And I will give you in a minute my view of what can be done very quickly to initiate training programs of young, talented youth to take responsibility for the country by creating and developing on-ground resources, just like this young man. He was not given any resources by WHO. He was not given any resources by any of the NGOs. He used the resources what he could find and made something out of it. And there are hundreds and thousands and millions of people, millions of young youth in Somalia, and I have spoken to a lot of them. And they have the desire to change the country. They have the desire to make this country a great country. But for some reason, because of various conflict emerging from tribal relations, this is not possible. So if we are really serious, we need to rethink about how we relate to each other. And my view is that GSD can play a huge role, because GSD Somalian people are living in foreign countries. They are living together, because I know firsthand, because I have close relationship with Somalian community in this part of this world. They live together. They are united in different functions. They are united in trying to get grants from different sources and so on and so forth. Similarly, it should be the case inside Somalia. In today's all the conflict that is going on, and I've been reading very, very touching stories in last few days about the sort of petty conflicts that is creating a lot of tension and violence within Mogadishu and other places. Now one would ask, how will we get the funding for this sort of self-help thing? Well, my idea is that we start with the Zakat fund. As a Muslim nation, everybody is supposed to give Zakat, right? So if this Zakat fund is collected in a legal entity called a Zakat bank or mini Zakat project bank, whatever you like to call it, where it has a legal standing, and this money is deposited in that bank. It is not governed by the government. It is not governed by any one person. It is governed by a board of people, which may be from different tribes, as well as one government representative, perhaps, but most of the board is from different cultures, different tribes, and so on and so forth, so that there is no misgiving that Zakat fund will be spent for something which may help a particular part of the community. Now, this Zakat fund can be used to initiate training of these young youths to develop things like ventilator. Ventilator is not a complex technology. There is already uh, uh, one place where they have solar-based uh, oxygen gas system. I can tell you the place. It's uh, in the Galmudug state. There is an solar energy system which has been developed. There is no reason that cannot be replicated. It has been developed with Canada, with the collaboration of Canada and WHO, but there is no reason why it cannot be replicated. In order to get external funds, external NGOs and philanthropic funds to help your country to grow, you first need to show that you are prepared to stand on your own 2 feet, and you try to muster resources from your own society so that they have trust in you that you are serious about development, and that development is going to be sustainable. This is something which is very important to think about. And we can have many Ahmad Madawis and many talented people who can actually go out and understand the process and develop a smaller scale or bigger scale process using many local resources. After all, this young chap did not go to overseas to get all the parts and then built up the whole thing. This young chap went to different workshops, found different things, and manipulated those different things to create that automated oxygen system. So I think this is the most important thing. If we are serious about development, if we are serious about going forward, it is the Somalian people who should show the world that they are serious. And one way of showing the world is when you actually put funds, which is basically you would be giving zakat to some institution or the other. You give zakat to an institution which is there to develop the Muslim population of Somalia. So I can't see any better use of that zakat. And this can be done from the diaspora all around the world. This can be started from there and bring it back into the country where local Somalians can also put their zakat fund into this for developmental project. I would like to suggest that these things are worth thinking about, and we in GOC will be there to help you out if you need me, because we can give you how to manage these startup businesses. We can provide training to people, how to see creatively and develop projects creatively. But one thing that is important for all Somalians, I guess, this is a thought-provoking statement that I'm going to make. Are you Somalian first united under the flag of Somalia? Or is that your primary identity as a human being living in Somalia? Or is it a secondary identity and your primary identity is the tribe that you are born in? This is a question which is very, very important to think about. Because when you are a united community, believe you me, there is no shortage of funding. I assure you that. You can get funding from anywhere, because what they want is to see if there is a trust in the people they are funding. Because in many countries where these funds are given, when the funds are finished, they are still at the same stage. They don't go that next stage. And until unless we show as a country, as a Somalian community, which has got lots and lots of potential, which has lots and lots of character built in within themselves, that we are ready to change. We are ready to make this country great.